5 locations, 9 teams, 1 champion. Countless lives and minds changed forever. Extreme E has left a trail of positive change in its wake, and nothing else. Whether our impact has been direct in one of our race locations, where we empower, support, develop and work with communities to make positive change that will last for decades to come. Or through our legacy programs, where our teams, drivers and the championship as a whole tackle the environmental issues at each event head on. Or if it's through sharing the message of what is happening in our world due to climate change with racing fans around the globe. Extreme E, the electric odyssey, is here to make a real difference. And we're just getting started.
Checker flag.
The final round of the first ever Extreme E season had brought our worldwide adventure to the shores of Dorset in the UK for the Jurassic X Prix, where we would crown our champions. While racing in Dorset, Extreme E is highlighting the loss of biodiversity, the variety of plant and animal life in a habitat. The UK has sustained massive biodiversity loss, but this is an issue that is truly global.
Biodiversity is the essence of the world. We are part of biodiversity. We are not apart from that. Everywhere you go, you have different levels of biodiversity. And biodiversity is very important because it delivers for free lots of different services. Biodiversity helps us deliver clean water, clean air. We humans are changing the environment. Of course, the environment would change naturally, but through its own pace. And what we've been doing as human beings, we've been accelerating lots of these changes. We are accelerating the amount of species that are in danger. We've been deforesting. And one of the major things that we've been doing, we've been changing the natural environment. The tropical environment is where you have the highest level of biodiversity. In the rainforest, we are still discovering new species every 2 or 3 days. That's amazing, but at the same time, we've been changing the Amazon at a very fast pace, and that's not good. We are now deforesting the tropical forests. We are changing the world in a pace that we should not be doing it. Human beings are making a huge change on the planet, and some of them may hit a tipping point of no return. It is not about the future, it's about what is happening now. That's what we've been doing, is changing the world, is changing the natural environments, but we also can bring the solutions. The very first thing we have to do is keep the natural environment as much as we can. If at some point you change the environment, you have to recover that. And recovering natural environments is much more difficult than keeping them. Going now to the other side of the thing is, okay, we have destroyed the environment. We have to restore. Another example that comes from the tropical forest is the agroforestry systems. The agroforest system will help with carbon, which is related to the climate change. Will help with bring biodiversity back. And also it's going to help us with the Sustainable Development Goals. The other thing you can do is a very easy one. Don't waste food. Of course, there are some percentage that we are going to lose, but let's say that we can reduce from 30 to 10%. These 20% are areas that we don't have to produce food. We can reduce the area It's not that untouchable thing that we discuss on climate change, on biodiversity, things that looks like almost untouchable. But these things are very touchable, and it's something that you can do on your daily basis.
Across the course of Extreme E's first season, the event team had been looking at innovative ways to make the championship as sustainable as possible. Waste and waste management are a massive part of racing without a trace, and Extreme E has been working alongside food waste specialist Tidy Planet to ensure the only thing that is left behind at each race location is a positive legacy.
We provide equipment to sites around the world that produce food wastes, and Extreme E put the scenario in front of us. We've got these events around the world. We want to make sure that we're doing the right thing with food waste when we're in remote locations. And the reason that we want to use this for this type of event, it's such remote locations. We have very limited infrastructure in those locations to be able to treat the waste responsibly. We can't be guaranteed that when we separate the wastes in Senegal or wherever we might be, that those wastes don't end up going to landfill. So the way that we want to treat it as an event is to bring those wastes back with us, and then we can guarantee when they come back to the UK that they go into a licensed facility and not to landfill. So the system we're looking at is a dryer. We're taking the raw food wastes, heating them to very high temperatures, taking out all the moisture content from them and creating a dry product that we can bring back with us. This is a drying system. It's one of our smaller drying systems. We build them in little units like this up to huge building size versions. Essentially, it's a tumble dryer for food waste. So the sort of food waste that we're going to get from an event, we've got heavy, moisture-laden food wastes, and we're going to dry those out. We'll take those 3 buckets down to roughly just under 1 bucket full. Those food waste will go into the dryer for a period of about 9 hours and be turned over inside and heated in a chamber. Whilst it's being dried, we're exposing it to temperatures of about 170 degrees Celsius. Once the cycle's complete, we open the front of the dryer and we discharge the wastes as a dry product into storage. The dryer is being used at the Extreme E event this time here in Bovington to help us quantify how much food waste is being generated by the event. And then for future events, when we are travelling the world, we'll have a drying system the correct size to treat all the food waste that are generated throughout the staging, the race and then the breakdown periods.
An Extreme E race consists of 3 laps, with the first driver completing 2 laps. Each team has a hyperdrive power boost they can activate on all 3 laps of the race. Expect strategy and tactics. Over the course of an X-Prix, the quickest team that goes through the Continental Traction Challenge collects a further 5 team championship points. Day 2 starts with the semi-final, with the top 2 teams from each semi-final progressing to the final. The bottom 3 teams from Day 1's qualifying go head-to-head in the Crazy Race, with the winner taking the last remaining place in the final. The top 2 teams from the semi-finals and the winner of the Crazy Race will battle it out in the 5-car final. The team that crosses the line first wins the X-Prix and claims 25 championship points. All 5 X-Prix count towards the team's championship, and in the Drivers' Championship, competitors can drop their worst result of the season. Who has what it takes to lift the trophy? With just 2 places left to fill for the final race of the season, it was do or die for title contenders Rosberg X Racing, as rivals X44 currently held the 5 additional championship points for the Continental Traction Challenge and had already progressed to the 5-car finale. The German outfit would have to battle it out with Acciona Sainz and Abt Cupra to keep their title hopes on track.
Kristoffersen knows what he needs to do, leading the championship at the moment. And we go racing in Dorset, and RXR got a decent start. Abt Cupra as well managed to drag themselves out. So hyperdrive use for Kristoffersen and Sainz at the moment. Sainz boosts himself into 2nd place. Actually, that's a great shout by them. Almost no visibility for Ekstrom. He's right at the back of Sainz, but Kristoffersen gets the slingshot. He's nicely away. This is perfection for what Kristoffersen needs to do.
I'm surprised Kristoffersen used a hyperdrive, Jenny, because their start was so good that they were actually out in front. Ekstrom uses his, now going to try and pass Carlos Sainz. He does. Matthias Ekstrom up the inside, surely on he goes back, so Sainz responds.
Wow, what a push from Sainz. That was defensive. He is El Matador. stylish tactics, and actually he's found some decent pace there. Sainz closing the gap to a second. Look at the commitment over there. Oh, the bodywork flies up in the air. That's gone. Who needs that?
Go, 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 go.
With the battle for second heating up behind, RXR had opened up a lead and were looking to take back the Continental Traction Challenge from X44.
The time he's looking to beat is a 49.506. That's the time that Sebastian Loeb set, faster than anyone we've seen. So he deploys his hyperdrive, going towards Knifefish. This is going to be aggressive. This is going to be a 10 out of 10 for the jump, I hope.
Here we go then, Kristoffersson with a big launch. How long will it be? Not as long as yesterday. Gets the car down on the ground. Now it's absolutely full throttle as he comes down to the timing line at the end. 49.5, it's not enough. It's a 50.7. So Loeb and X44 hold on to the Continental Traction Challenge.
Despite missing out on the Traction Challenge, Johan still held a 3-second lead to Acciona Sainz behind as he came into the switch zone. Handing over to teammate Molly Taylor, she now had to bring the car home in one piece to secure their place in the final.
Wyatt is 3.8 behind and Yuta is 20 seconds behind. Okay, copy.
And off they go towards the jump zone. Sands also using the hyperdrive. Let's see how much Taylor wants to risk it. Not very much, quite a conservative jump over there, so not going for the Traction Challenge, just going to try and get that car home nice and safely and line them up for a final dive.
Molly Taylor coming up the slope. They're just meters away from going through to the final, and they're taking the advantage back here. Kristoffersson with a brilliant first couple of laps. Taylor, as usual, absolutely flying, and RXR do what they needed to do to respond to X44. They're through to the final, and the championship goes down to the last race of the year.
Nice one, Molly. Nice one. The pace was good. Brilliant job.
Another step in the right direction. Good to finish first. Build the confidence also for both drivers. Of course, not ideal that Loeb got the super sector, X44 got the super sector. That's not ideal in terms of points, but still we're in a good position now for the final.
With championship leaders RXR making it to the main event alongside Acciona Sainz, the final 5-car final of the first Extreme E season was set, with JBXE, Andretti United and X44 filling out the rest of the grid. If Lewis Hamilton's team X44 could finally secure their first win in the final round of the championship later that day, Nico Rosberg's RXR would have to finish in 4th place or better to secure the championship, having entered the weekend with a significant advantage. But as we've seen across the course of this electrifying first season of racing,
Oh, look at that!
anything can happen in Extreme E. With Extreme E's inaugural season coming to a close in the UK, the event team, working alongside waste management specialist Tidy Planet and Dorset-based company Eco, were turning all of food waste from the final race of the season into sustainable energy.
So Eco is a sustainable solutions business, so we take waste from local councils, whether that's food waste or wood waste or garden waste, things like that, and what we'll do, we'll turn that into high quality landscape products, but also renewable energy as well. So Tidy Planet provide the infrastructure for the on-site recycling of food waste. We'll then take that food waste and turn it into electricity. So we'll take the food waste in. We've got a big hopper in a barn over the back over there. So the food waste will come in, go into that hopper. What we'll then do is pump it into these 2 gasification chambers. So once it goes into the gasification chambers, it basically acts like a human stomach in a way. So the food waste gets broken down anaerobically, which basically means without oxygen. So bacteria breaks the food waste down. As the food waste gets broken down and the gas generates, so it's kind of gas called methane, is created during that process. What we'll then do is extract that methane, clean it up to take away any of the impurities, and we'll use that to drive a generator, which then creates electricity. This is the greenest way to manage food. Obviously one output is a renewable energy, the other output as well is a biofertiliser, so it's moving away from chemical fertiliser and actually gets our organics back into our soil, which is also crucial. Obviously the Bovington race site is about 10 to 12 miles down the road. So obviously us taking the waste in here is obviously great, keeps the waste close to source and obviously minimises the carbon impact. So obviously us taking the kitchen waste and turning that into electricity is a fantastic initiative and helps reduce the carbon footprint for the Extreme E event. So the energy that we generate in a year at the site here equates to about 35,000 homes. I think the food waste that we're going to be taking from the Extreme E event is going to be able to power about 85 homes for a day, which is obviously fantastic for a week-long event. To be able to generate enough energy for 85 homes for a day is fantastic.
With RXR having secured their spot in the final 5-car showdown of the season, they had one hand on the championship trophy. But with their title rivals X44 also having made it to the main event, the fight was still on. X44 also had momentum on their side, having won qualifying and having set the fastest time in the Continental Traction Challenge during their semi-final race. The pressure had shifted to RXR and the top spot was theirs to lose. If X44 could capitalise on their momentum and take their first win of the season, RXR would have to finish in 4th place or higher to win the title. But that wasn't the only championship battle taking place, as the fight was still on for who would secure 3rd in the championship, with JBXE and Andretti United, brothers Kevin Hansen and Timmy Hansen going head-to-head, and Michaela Arling-Kotelinski and Katie Munnings doing battle for the final step on the championship podium. The stage was set for an epic final race.
There's just one race left to go, 3 laps to decide our champions of Extreme E in 2021. X44 with a great start, RXR2, X44 are going to get there first. JBXE moves across to try and shut the door on Andretti United. Arling-Kotelinski almost up the inside of Molly Taylor, but not quite. It's Christina Gutierrez who gets down to turn 1 with a whole shot, clearly in the lead. Molly Taylor, though, in P2, they run a bit wide in turn 1. Slippery through there, Arling-Kotelinski 3rd. It's Munnings in 4th. I can't see Laya Sands, they're a long way back for Science XE.
Yep, it's Gutierrez. She used a hyperdrive off the start line, which gave her the extra boost of power, 4 seconds extra boost to just slingshot herself into that first way marker when it funnels down first. So she's got a nice lead here. Sliding for JBXE. They've got all over the place, losing out on the traction on the grid. Have they lost a spot? Can they push themselves back in? Contact behind.
Okay, good save, good save. Still P3. Keep going. Good job, good job. Keep pushing.
They're so close, they're side by side. Arling-Kotelinski, I think, has managed to get past. So Arling-Kotelinski gets up past Munnings. Sudden sideways in the background. Sands was sideways too. I thought maybe an issue, but they're back in there. As we see over the jump goes Gutierrez. Sands uses her hyperdrive too. Alongside, JBXE look for the pass on RXR. Michaela Arling-Kotelinski alongside and past Molly Taylor. Taylor on the outside line now as they're coming towards the right hand. They're surely going to slot into P3. They only need 4th, but it's a move in the wrong direction.
It's okay. Katie is 1 car behind.
It's just 3 points in it, remember, at the moment. X44 have the extra 5. RXR's dropped another position. RXR drops down to P4. So at the minute would be equal. They would win on countback for number of wins. I wonder if they've got an issue. Doesn't look like Molly Taylor on maximum attack. You ride on board with Gutierrez as she comes over the crest and is going to come into the switch zone. There's Munnings right up behind JBXE, trying to make a pass on the braking zone. The two of them going into the funnel, not through. Munnings spins. Katie Munnings spins on the way in. She's going to have to bang that into reverse. There it is, and slot back in, so time lost.
Good job, Michaela. Great job, great job. Got 3 seconds in hand, 3 seconds, switch bay 3.
There's Sebastian Loeb. He knows they're absolutely in the position they need to be in. They hold the Continental Traction Challenge, 5-point advantage. They hold P1 in this race. Here we go. It is Loeb versus Kristoffersson. How long until RXR are going to get that car out? There goes Andretti United with Timmy Hansen on board. RXR will be closer. The car is moving, Jenny. They're closer than they were thanks to that problem for Munnings. But it's Timmy Hansen at the wheel. He's not going to be an easy one to pass, and he's got to hold off Carlos Sainz behind.
Keep me updated on the car behind.
It's Loeb from Hansen. The two brothers racing against each other for 3rd in this championship. Then it is Kristoffersson and Sainz. Those are your 4 drivers. They've got 1 lap. Let's see what's going to happen.
It was 4.5 to Andretti. It was 15 behind. Johan, we do not need the super sector.
RXR have got a 10-second buffer. Loeb's just got to keep this car on the straight and narrow for 3 kilometres.
Should have 3 seconds in hand ahead of Kevin. Rosberg, currently 4. I'll keep it posted.
So they've done everything they can do, X44. Loeb and Gutierrez, they've got the points, they're in the lead. At the moment, it's not enough.
But look, Loeb coming up, he's taking the final bit of the twins. It's out of his hands, really. He can just go as fast as he can. They're going to have to look over their shoulders. Can Acciona Sainz do anything? The win goes to X44. Second for JBXE. We're still waiting for third place. Who's it going to be? It's Hansen crosses the line in third for Andretti United. If Rosberg X Racing cross the line next, they are the champions, our first ever Extreme E winners. Kristoffersen punches the air, he is delighted, the whole team are delighted. Wow, what a final, they smashed it, they did everything. X44 did everything, it just wasn't enough.
We did everything we could. At the end we are still second of the championship, but we made our best, so that's the main thing. We learned a lot in the season. We had a lot of fun during the season. It was really nice to share this drive with Christina, so I'm looking forward to next year.
It's an amazing moment for us because I think we deserve it. Finally, we did an amazing job during all the season. Sometimes we don't have a little the luck, but finally we had, and we are happy to finish the season like that, and the next season will be better for sure.
X44 had finally managed to secure a deserved first race win in the final round of the season. They put on a thrilling comeback and hunted down RXR and secured the only maximum points haul weekend of the season with a massive 45 points in one weekend during the Jurassic X Prix. And the season's racing ended with the top two teams level on points. But it wasn't enough. With RXR having won 3 out of the 5 races throughout the season, they stayed top of the standings based on countback. And after an amazing first season of racing across the globe, Rosberg X Racing, Molly Taylor and Johan Kristoffersen were our first ever Extreme E champions. After battling in the mud all weekend long, it was only right that the gloves came off and the teams celebrated in true Dorset style.
Oh, he's coming! He's coming! Yes! Wow! 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 That was toughest all weekend.
How does it feel to be crowned the first Extreme E champion?
Great success.
Try that again. Yeah, it feels incredible to be here as the first champions of Extreme E. It was always the goal coming into the series, but it's all so new that you never really know what to expect. So this feels pretty good, and it's been so much hard work from so many people to make it happen.
Yeah, and also, I mean, the whole championship is new team, new teammate, new car, so it's been so many new things, and being able to win the first one for sure was always the aim, but I mean, motorsport is motorsport and anything can happen, and in the end finishing equal on points, you know, it cannot be more thrilling than that. We started off great on pace in Saudi, overtaking Timmy in the final. That was maybe the highlight of the season for me, being able to make that move stick, and yeah, Senegal, Molly did a great move in the final, managing to get that win. And yeah, Greenland, we were fighting for the win as well when the car stopped. So it's always been, you know, tricky to preserve the car but still be fast. Throughout every race weekend and in general, we've been able to do the job when it counted, and then been able to manage it when it counted. It's never easy or straightforward, but I think that's where we have such a great team that we're able to really, you know, try and stay on top of that as much as we can. I mean, from my side, it's been pretty life-changing, to be honest, to be able to be in a field like this and have someone like Johan and Nico as mentors, and to be, you know, in a field with some of the other rally drivers who have been my idols growing up. So it's been pretty surreal, and something that I just wouldn't have had the opportunity to do. Yeah, it's been an incredible opportunity, and it's certainly changed my career.
How have you got on together?
Oh, terribly.
We get along good outside of the track, and this also makes it a lot easier because it's a lot more time spending off track than actually driving in Extreme E, so it's good to be able to get along good with the driver, and also you know, with the rest of the team. Everyone is, you know, super friendly, and having more or less same dry humor, so that helps a lot.
Are you going to celebrate tonight?
Yes, very much. We go to St. Helena with the whole team and we will have a proper party.
Spend a night on the ship and yeah, enjoy being able to let some steam off. His fault.
Cool.
So professional, Max. So professional.
That's it.
With our first ever champions crowned, the inaugural Extreme E season came to a close. But the adventure, the Electric Odyssey, had only just begun. Next time, we look back at the highs and lows of an incredible first season. We sit down with Extreme E founder and CEO Alejandro Agag and look ahead to the next chapter on our electrifying journey as we set sail for Season 2.